What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of the Legislative Director, talking about legislative things. Here she is. It's halftime. She's giving us a pep talk. Legislative Director Amber Marr. With her, as always, in desperate need of said pep talk, not the Legislative Director, Jason Thompson. Amber, it's halftime. You made it up top. Good
we
job.
did make it.
We did make it. Now you know what we should do? This all over again in the second half.
I was like, wait, what? Yeah, I know. We are going to get a chance to do it all over again.
I'm excited.
Starting on Monday.
Monday, here it is. We're recording this on a Thursday.
Yes.
Monday will be here before you know it. I will soak up these precious few moments where there's nothing happening.
I have to be. It just doesn't really feel like it's much of a break. But that's okay.
Not. It's really not.
Yeah.
I could go for like 2-3 months between halves, but that's a me thing.
I don't know. Let's just get it all over with.
Yeah, you're just like rip the Band-Aid right off.
Yeah.
I like that. I can get behind that one.
I don't think 2 to 3 months in between the halves. I don't know. I could handle that.
Okay. I see where you're coming from.
Okay.
So let's get into it. Let's talk about. There's a lot of legislation for us to go through. We'll go through it, a lot of them quickly, as to not have this be like a marathon long episode. As fun as that might be for the folks in this room and the folks that are watching or listening, we will try to move quickly through all these bills that AARP that we are keeping an eye on, that we're tracking, that we're going to maybe be getting in the mix on. Lots of good stuff happening. So Amber, take it away.
Okay. We're going to kick it off with House Bill 1001, which is the state budget.
Slightly important bill.
Just a tiny bit. So all of the items that we are watching, adult protective services, choice program, public mass transit, adult guardianship, local public health. Sorry, I shouldn't have put local public health in there.
Just public health.
No, just all of the ones that I said
Yeah.
are at the same funding rate
Yeah.
that we had hoped that.
Okay.
Well, they've maintained the funding. They haven't increased, they haven't decreased. So that's still a win.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to just keep track of that once it gets to the Senate. Now, local public health. If you remember me talking, and we'll kind of touch on it, but Senate Bill 4 in the Senate, which is the Public Health Commission, and all of the recommendations out of the Public Health Commission for improving public health funding and allowing that to trickle down to the local governments. The original ask for the first 2023-2024 year of the budget was $100 million. In the budget right now, it's 75. So like I said last time, it's not terrible. It's pretty good. 2024-2025, we asked for $200 million. There's 150. So again, it is definitely less money than what we had asked for, but there is still a lot of funding attached. So that, I would say, is the update on the budget. We are still consistently watching a lot of things, especially around the housing fund. For House Bill 1005, I believe there's $75 million in the budget right now for that over the 2 years. So again, we're going to keep track of all of this because it's going to change in the Senate. Well, I'm convinced things will change.
Yeah.
We just don't know where the change will come.
Yeah.
So yes.
Okay.
And the budget passed. I had that right in front of me, but it passed 66-29.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. What's next?
House Bill 1005, I already kind of touched on that. That's establishing the Residential Housing Infrastructure Assistance Program. There wasn't funding necessarily attached to the specific bill, but it is in the budget. And that was, I believe, $75 million. I will correct myself on the next episode if I'm wrong.
Okay.
But that is something that we did support in the House. Moving forward, we do have, I think, some tweaks we would like to make or see some additional language inserted into it around some of the additional recommendations that came out of the Housing Task Force last year. So stay tuned. We'll see if there's any appetite for that, but we know that from the Hoosier Housing Needs Coalition, there's definitely appetite to sort of get some changes into that bill.
Okay.
That passed 91-6.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's hope that continues.
Yeah. This is the one that it covers a lot of the new infrastructure dollars. Covers the infrastructure costs for building new homes, affordable homes. And so this is a grant program where builders and other folks that are trying to increase affordable housing units can apply for these loans to cover that infrastructure fund.
Okay.
Why do I keep saying fund? Infrastructure cost. Sorry.
That's because it's infrastructure. Let's move on. What's the next bill?
I'm sorry. It has been a long week.
These
I
are
kept
big
saying
words.
fund. I meant
These are hard words.
All right. You get me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're next.
Oh yes, 1007. House Bill 1007. This is a electric utility service bill. Main things about this is it's got a couple things in it. It is kind of putting into code, if you will, these kind of 5 pillars that the 21st Century Energy Task Force had kind of put together. And it's just something that the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission, kind of when they're reviewing things that they should factor in. And those are just reliability, affordability, resiliency, stability, and environmental sustainability. So that's in there. It also changes the percentage that a utility would be allowed to kind of buy off the open market when they're purchasing energy. Currently, they're allowed to do it at 30%. This takes it down to 15%. So that means basically they have to produce, whatever that is, 80, what is that math? 85% of their own.
He wouldn't help. I'm not helping.
Just so they can buy 15% off the market. We'll just put it that way, so I don't have to do math. And then it also just encourages a study that would change up the way rates are calculated in some rate making things, so that the IURC has to then report back to the Indiana General Assembly. I believe it is in 2025 when they're doing a report. So it's something we're keeping an eye on. It's something we're going to be looking at engaging on in the second half. It passed out of the House 96-1. So that's got some momentum there with that one.
Awesome.
A little utility fun.
There's more where that came from.
I know it. Don't I know it? All right, what's the next one, Amber?
Okay, House Bill 1097, Healthy Food Incubator Program. This actually was given a hearing in committee. We testified in support. Unfortunately, it did not get a vote. So when the committee deadline hit, the bill has died.
Now, long-term viewers and listeners of the show know that we have been engaging kind of on this food financing issue for a while. It's kind of gone away a little bit as new legislators and stuff like that come on board, and other ones leave that were passionate about that issue. But it's good to at least see that it got a hearing. Unfortunately, it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
So RIP.
RIP to the food.
To the food bill.
For the food bill.
Healthy Food Incubator Program bill.
It's a shame.
But we really do appreciate Representative Shackelford bringing it forward and allowing us the opportunity to sort of show once again our support for this issue.
Yep.
So I don't think this is the last time you'll see it.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to skip that one.
That's fine. We can skip a couple ones here.
I'm going to skip this one because
we'll go with pass.
There will be, we'll talk more about this in another episode.
Teaser.
Okay. Skip.
Yep, skip. All right. What's the next one?
Skip.
Skip. Okay. I'm going to skip this one here.
I'm just kidding. Wait,
Which one are you skipping?
I'm just kidding. I'm skipping it.
We're talking about this one?
Which one? Yeah.
Okay, you can talk about that one.
All right. Sorry. I was just joking. I was just going to buzz all the rest and be done. Like, we're done.
Yeah.
Okay.
But do we each get to skip one?
What one? Just wait.
Okay.
Let me see what one you're going to skip.
Okay.
I'll let you know if you can skip it.
Okay. What's the next one?
Okay. House Bill 1330, Advanced Practice Registered Nurses. This was the one that mirrored Senate Bill 213, I believe, in the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
It did not get a hearing. We are very supportive. This was the one that removed the collaborative agreement between an advanced practice registered nurse and a physician. Unfortunately, it was not given a hearing, even though we worked really hard to advocate for one. So we'll see if there's any bills that we can maybe insert this language into in the second half. But as of now, dead.
Good. I'm going to pass on this next one.
Okay.
Okay.
You only get one pass.
Oh, really?
Yep. Why are you passing on the next one?
Yeah. No. Okay.
That's
Well,
fine.
no, we'll talk about this.
Do you need to?
No, we're not going to. We're going to talk about this one. House Bill 1420 is
Oh.
another utility-esque bill that we're just keeping an eye on. We're going to start getting into the weeds here.
Okay.
And I'm going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about.
I can't wait.
This is going to be funny.
I just love that you have notes.
Yeah, this is
Really
strange
great.
for me.
Well.
Anywho, 1420 has to do with electric transmission facilities. Basically, what it comes down to is whether or not there is a competitive bidding process that needs to be done for the construction of transmission lines across state lines, and whether or not an incumbent utility has the right of first refusal on that. On the nose.
I'm very impressed.
Thank you. We'll see what happens with it and where AARP is engaging when it comes to that. But it's something we're going to be keeping an eye on.
And?
Where did it pass? It passed out of the House 59 to 39, which shows a little contentious
Issues.
Which leads us into.
Well, wait, hold on. But you did mention that we have not taken.
We have not taken a position on this.
But we are trying to figure out if we're going to.
Yeah, we're just keeping an eye out. Yeah,
yep.
We're keeping things out. We haven't talked about it before in this program.
We have not.
1421, also another one we haven't talked about on this program.
Are you skipping?
No, I'm gonna go with this one.
Okay, let's go.
So this is one that was well. Now I'm thinking about skipping. This is a very highly contentious one. Basically, it would allow for a utility that is constructing a natural gas plant to generate energy to charge customers for that plant before it's even producing any kind of electricity. So you could basically you would see a cost incur on your bill for the construction of an electric generation plant, even though it is not producing any kind of electricity. So that is what 1421 is, electric generating facility construction. Did I get that right? Did I get that wrong?
No, I didn't say that you had it wrong. I think I had them confused.
That would be a first.
No, not when it comes to utility bills. That is correct, because you said this focuses on construction while it's in progress?
Yes.
Okay.
So it would allow for a utility to recoup those expenses of the construction before the construction's done.
Has even started?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a fun term for that we don't need to get into now, but that's kind of what we were looking at.
Okay.
All right.
Great. Sorry, that one I thought it was something different.
There we go. Also, one we haven't talked about. See, this is not only a review; you're learning new stuff. Not you, but them.
No, me too.
Yeah. Okay.
No. Oh, that's why you're in charge of utility bills.
All right.
Okay.
What's next?
House Bill 1422, dementia care.
Okay.
This is requiring an area agency on aging to have or establish a dementia care specialist program. We are very supportive of this. We've been working with the Alzheimer's Association. This bill passed out 92-0. However, there's no funding in the budget for it. So right now it is an unfunded mandate, and I'm afraid that if that is the way that it stays, it probably will not continue to move forward because the AAAs really do need the funding to hire this dementia coordinator, and the Alzheimer's Association understands that. So we're going to be trying to get that funding in the budget.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yep. I think that's it. Yep. House Bill 1438.
Okay.
Publication of local government notices. We just talked about this one on the last episode.
I believe that's correct.
It is now turning into a local government public notice task force. And there are 17 members in the task force. And if you remember correctly, they actually added an individual representing the age population of at least 60 years of age or older. And so that would necessarily be us. But it could be a lot of other folks. So while this is a task force of public notices and how that is dealt with and whether it needs to remain in print or if it can go online or how that works for public access issues, we're just monitoring this. We don't currently have a position on it, but it is something that now, because they've added that.
Yeah, something we got to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
See if we can engage on. Okay.
Yep.
That bill
Skip.
didn't even get a hearing,
Oh, okay.
so we can skip that one.
Okay.
What's next?
We already talked about this, but House Bill 1547 is the finance charges for supervised loans that we were able to not have it called back for a vote.
Yep.
It died. It's just in the, as you would say, it's the payday adjacent bill,
Yes.
not dealing with payday, but
Not
dealing with
payday.
loans,
Payday
other loans
adjacent.
that could be harmful to consumers.
Correct.
And we were able, so it is no longer alive.
Good work.
It's dead, but the language can come back.
Always.
Keep that in mind.
Always.
On any of the bills we say are dead. House Bill 1588, the public transportation projects. That one is also one that mirrors one in the Senate. It did not get a hearing. It's one of the ones that we worked very hard for it to not get a hearing. It would have very much dismantled our Indigo transportation system here in Marion County, and we are never a fan of that.
No, not at all. That's not something we like.
No. So it did not get a hearing.
Awesome.
It's dead.
Awesome.
Language could come back though.
Always.
Senate Bill 1, behavioral health matters. This is around increasing behavioral and mental health resources and access to mental health. We are very supportive of this. This is what we talked about, that Senator Kreider actually added a very similar line when we were talking about the local government public notice task force. The Behavioral Health Commission, he added a line item for an organization dealing with our population, and that could be us or it could not be. It could be other organizations, but we are very excited that he added a voice that will be talking about behavioral and mental health services for the aging population.
Love it.
And that passed 49-0.
Good work.
Okay. Senate Bill 3, already talked about this. This is the State and Local Tax Review Task Force. It looks at removing the income tax and some property taxes. Again, it is a study. There were two main organizations that were listed underneath this task force. We thought we really wanted one of the coalitions that we sit on, the A&O network, Assets and Opportunities Network, to be a part of it. Senator Holdman had originally said, no, there are too many people asking to be a part of it. So instead of adding folks to it, he just removed everybody except for the legislative piece and all of the legislators that sit on it. So all organizations are now on a level playing field, and we have to work through the subcommittees.
Yep, we don't have fair.
Yeah, we don't have a position, but we were very grateful that now everyone is on the same level, and there aren't just certain people on and certain people left out. Okay, that one passed 49-0.
What's next? This is a very familiar one. We've talked
Senate
about several
Bill 4,
times.
Public Health Commission. We already touched on that. That one is moving, although it is a little bit different than the budget. We can get into that a little bit further because, as you remember, the funding is in House Bill 1001 for Senate Bill 4. There is no actual funding associated with Senate Bill 4 in the bill. It just talks about how the funding would trickle down. That passed 41-7. So we are in support of Senate Bill 4, and we'll continue to watch that as it moves forward.
Awesome. Next is Senate Bill 9, which is electric service reliability. Basically, this one is really what it came down to, is that if a utility company is looking to shut down, in particular, a coal fire plant, generation plant that was not necessarily within when they were planning on doing it, when they told the IURC that, oh, hey, it's changing. It's just about giving notice in that regard. It's also, I think, really what it comes down to is that the folks that are advocating for this bill is that, coal fire plants can still generate a lot of electricity, and not to transition too quickly to some of these renewables and things of that nature. We'll see what happens with it. It's something we're just kind of monitoring. Didn't take a position on it this time, but something we're keeping an eye on.
Love it.
Okay.
You didn't say.
Oh, it passed out of the Senate 40-9.
Okay. Thank you. Senate Bill 73. This is like rapid fire.
Yeah, this is great.
Is it? I think
it's not great.
I don't know. We're talking really fast. Okay. But maybe that's okay. Yeah, Senate Bill 73, Occupational Therapy Licensure Compact. We supported this. Obviously, we've been supportive of compacts in the past. It really does help with ease of transition for healthcare providers. And this passed 48-1. We will continue to support it as it moves into the House. And again, we've supported the nurse licensure compact. We've supported the physician compact. All of this that just to remain consistent that this is something that we support.
Great.
It's you.
All right. Oh, yeah. Senate Bill 114, receivership for past utility bills. We testified in committee in support of this one. This is one that if it was in a apartment community, if it's one of these situations where the tenant was paying their utility costs with their rent, so it's just kind of one payment to the landlord. This would be a way for folks, will protect folks from like unnecessary shutoffs that are out of their control. So say you're paying your utility bill, which is part of your rent, to your landlord. The landlord decides that I'm just not going to pay the utility bill for whatever reason. And then the utility company is getting to the point where they're going to, they want to shut it off access to that utility. This would be a way for the utility company to recoup those expenses. So in receivership. So it's a way to it's not everything that we like or we would want to see, but it still puts a little bit of a protection there for a tenant from getting a utility cut off that is out of their control and through no fault of their own. It passed 50-0 in the Senate, so unanimously passed, and a whole slew of other senators jumping on this bill. So I think it's people are pleased with how it's going.
And we are just very supportive of this. So
we are indeed.
Thank you. Senate Bill 160, Professional Counselors Licensure Compact, another compact that we are supportive of. Worked with Senator Kreider on that. It passed 48-1. So we will continue to follow that and support it. You're next.
Yeah, so 180 is the allocation of wastewater utility costs. This is something we also didn't take a position on, but something we're monitoring, which is a theme for a lot of these utility bills, are things that we're just keeping an eye on and maybe engaging in the second half. But this one in particular would allow a water utility that has wastewater and water customers, when they want to make infrastructure improvements to wastewater, would be able to, in order to not prevent a giant leap in cost for the wastewater customers, would be able to charge their water customers, even though they may not be receiving wastewater service for them, to incur a part of that fee in order to defray those costs for the wastewater customers. And so that just allows them to do that. Obviously, the wastewater infrastructure in a lot of places is in not great shape. And that
massive disrepair.
That could lead to very bad things happening if wastewater is not properly maintained or taken care of or upgraded. And the idea behind this would be a way to ensure that stuff gets upgraded and those customers are not seeing huge jumps or spikes in their bills to cover those costs. So it's something we're keeping an eye on, something we're probably going to be engaging in the second half. We shall see. But there you go. That passed out of the Senate.
Is it not there?
I don't think it's there.
Yes, it is. Oh.
I don't know. It passed. So we'll we can look that up, I guess.
Really,
but
really
it's
fast.
It's not on my notes.
It's not
that I have here.
Are you blaming me for that?
I'm not blaming you for this.
Ooh, might be my fault.
I don't believe that.
44-2.
44-2.
But I saved the day.
Yes, you did.
Sorry about that.
Good work.
That's a problem.
All right, what's up next?
Senate Bill 202 is the Housing Study Committee. This was the habitability bill that had a piece of rent escrow in it. Unfortunately, that just was not going to happen. And so Senator Kadora decided at the last minute to go ahead and make a compromise to change this into a housing study, to study the escrow piece. So we'll see what happens to it over in the House, but it is now a study committee.
Okay.
And it also...
You want to look that one up too?
It also does not tell me what the final vote was. I'm so sorry. I am slacking.
You are not. That is not the
202.
case. Wherever we get our notes from.
I don't know what's
I
happening.
blame them.
Okay. 37-9.
Okay. All right.
And then Senate Bill 213, Advanced Practice Registered
We already
Nurses.
talked about.
Yep. Mirrors the one in the House. Did not get a hearing.
Boo.
And so we will find a way, or hopefully find a way, to bring that language back. Moving on, Senate Bill 233, Vision Zero Task Force. This was one that we recently testified in support of. It establishes the Vision Zero Task Force to study and make recommendations concerning fatalities on roadways and highways, looking at how the infrastructure can help everything move. And by everything, I mean anything that makes a community livable, whether it's a car, transportation, walking, biking, whatever, you name it. It's just looking at how that can be structured in a way that is safe for all users.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
All
and
right.
that one passed 42-7. We will continue to work on that. And actually, I think there will be some updates next week on how we are going to engage on that further.
That's
so
what they
stay
call
tuned.
it. That's what they call a tease in the business. Because we're in the biz now, the entertainment biz.
Oh my goodness.
We're not.
Okay. We're almost done.
We're almost done.
We're almost done.
Mercifully, this is almost over.
Senate Bill 2.
No, not for anybody here, for them. This is fantastic.
This shows how much
this is
we
look,
thought.
look,
This is what,
look at all these.
Yeah,
all these pages.
it's a lot.
There's a lot of stuff
Okay.
here.
Senate Bill 235, finance charges for supervised loans. We already talked about this. It mirrors the one in the House. This one, actually, we fought to not even get it a hearing, so it was not even heard, versus the House one where it was heard, was going to be called back for a vote, and we were able to squelch the vote. But Senate Bill 235, dead.
That's a shame.
But the language could
not
come
really.
Okay.
Not really a shame.
Senate Bill 245, also talked about.
Also no longer with us.
Public transportation projects. This one also mirrors the one in the House. We were able to not get this one a hearing, which is the dismantling of our transportation system here in Marion County. And it would have had, no dedicated lanes, et cetera, Groundhog Day. So it's dead. Language could come back, though. I'm going to continue to say that.
We'll
just
keep
so
on,
that we're not jinxing
We'll
ourselves.
just keep on reminding. We'll put it out there. Senate Bill 298, the utility infrastructure improvement charges. This is also something that's kind of directed for water utilities, specifically not-for-profit water utilities or a municipal-owned water utility. It just basically allows for when they make a infrastructure improvement, they can recover those costs over a 12-month period. So folks will see an increase in their bill to cover those infrastructure improvement costs, but after 12 months, it will then drop off. And so this was a little bit of a cleanup bill from ones from previous session, and it passed out of the Senate 49-0. So it's something we'll be keeping an eye on and possibly engaging in the second half.
We're on repeat.
I know. That is, we can just put an audio recording of me saying, we were looking at it and we may engage in the second half.
Well, we'll see.
Maybe a busy second half.
It's going to be.
Okay.
Senate Bill 334, simplified application for SNAP benefits. We've already talked about this as well. We supported this. This just makes sort of the eligibility for SNAP benefits for someone who is having to re-up their benefits. It just extends the time period that they get to be on it, because the individual is over 60. A lot of things don't change, and it's just lessening the cumbersome process of the SNAP benefits program. So it's not increasing folks on the SNAP program. It's just allowing them a little bit longer before they have to fill out the same paperwork, where normally nothing has really changed.
Remove some redundancies, if you will.
Yep.
I guess is the word. All right.
Absolutely. Passed
then
48-0. Whoa, getting a little
sorry, I
jump of the gun.
I saw that maybe this was the last one.
It is not.
Okay.
Is it?
I don't know. Is it? I think it is.
Oh, well, did I finish? Okay. 48-0 on Senate Bill 334.
Yes. You can say that. Sorry.
Then we had one more, but we haven't really talked about this one, and we're going to be engaging in it on the second half, so we can go ahead and say,
sure,
we'll just pause on that.
Yeah, well, we got to give them something to look forward to.
Yeah, I agree.
Can't just tell you everything that we're doing.
Well, and then what we'll need to do too is we've got some financial literacy bills that we have engaged on through the Indiana Assets and Opportunities Network.
Okay.
And that I think we've kind of spoken about a little bit in the past, but there are 3 bills that I would like to, or 2 or 3 that I would like to talk about too, that we have been engaging on.
Okay, well.
What? I should maybe just save for another episode. I was going to talk about the public comment draft of the action plan between OCRA and IHCDA that we're going to be talking about on Tuesday during the public open comment period. But that might take a lot longer than what we have.
Yeah, you know what? Let's save it for Let's save it for next week. You know, it was like rapid fire. Catch your breath.
Okay, but this is a really important thing. Okay, we'll save it for next week.
You can talk about it now if you want.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready for halftime. To these next couple
of days. Almost over at this point.
Right, it is.
We're talking about it like it's here. We got all this time, and we don't.
We don't. We're right back at it. Coming soon.
I mean, committee hearings are already scheduled, so we're already.
Yes, we're already in it. We're already in it. Hashtag Inside Baseball, as Dan said. Thank you. But this is how it is. Okay. Well, good work on the first half.
You too. One more
up top.
All right.
Up top for the first half, up top for the second half. High fives for you at home. Thanks for sticking with us. And we will continue this conversation on all these bills and much, much more on the next episode of The Legislative Director, talking about legislative things. We will see you then.